Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just 1 tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition store.
Good afternoon, Grand Rising, 5 minutes past 2 p.m. Hope you guys are doing amazing. Guess who's back? Do you see where I am? Can you see the background? Do you see me? When's the last time you saw this face? I'm back.
Hey, Carrie, you're back and you're late.
Capri was to blame. I was really on time. I told Capri
on time. Oh, Capri, they got the motorcycle fixed, Toby?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. It's Capri.
Okay. Capri, you no good bastard. I'ma thrash you.
I'd already set my show by so early in the morning, so I was ready.
Okay. That's what's up.
Afternoon to everyone with me on the network. Hope you guys have been amazing. On the radio, literally I'm on the studio, so let me turn myself on the radio. I'm back. Yes. I feel so good, to be honest. It's been a minute being here, but of course we're back with a normal conversation.
Been a month and a half. Well, it's been a while.
You don't deserve an off after all that. Like, please, who even dares ask me an off day? Like, for what? I was telling the doctors, like, hey, you can't tell me I'm going to be with this shit for one more day or whatever hours. I'm getting that. So they're like, oh, you came to a checkup? No, I came to get this shit removed, not for a checkup. So, yeah, do you want me fired because you are at your work and yet you're eating your money? You want me fired? I need to go back to my work. Then she asked me, like, you don't enjoy being at home? I'm like, no, my job is very fun to be at home. I'm sorry if you're sad about your job, but mine is fun. I like being where the fun is more at. So I feel enslaved in my own house. So can you get the doctor and get me ready? I was literally like, I felt like
Joey and that threatening nurses and stuff. And she goes, Joey, no damn well she wasn't about to be fired. Trying to get some sympathy from some people.
I was not calm at all because we got there, then we stayed for like almost 25 minutes waiting for the doctor. I'm like, huh? I mean, I understand there are people, but you told me the doctor is coming right now. I didn't know you guys needed a checkup. You guys had an appointment today, so why are you keeping me waiting here? I was like, nah, I want to go. I want to feel free, But yeah, it feels amazing. Of course, I'm not fully yet walking straight, but yeah, better than.
Of course, you're in the healing process, Toby. You'll be back to normal in a month and a half or so.
Yeah. But yeah, Karibuni Sana, as usual. I've been doing the shows, and of course, welcome back to the Pan-African Bliss Show, where today we shall be talking about how Africa, if it industrialized itself, like Asia, like Europe, like America, which is now a shithole, its GDP would multiply and time. Shout out to that white guy of yesterday. He really made me laugh by emphasizing that America is a shithole, and that should be understood by the majority of the world that actually think America is a good country or is there to save you. And on that, we shall be talking about how.
It's funny what Joby's talking about. What's funny being Deborah talking about that last night. You called me late last night. I already knew what it was about anyway. I kind of already had a thing in my head. But he was showing them Africa united and industrialized. That it'd be worth, he's doing the Google thing, how it'd be the #1 country on the planet, the richest would be worth $50 trillion. But even if they didn't industrialize right now, they would so-called be #2 behind the United States, over China. I said, that's not even real, because if they just take back the resources that America steals, they'll still be #1 without even industrializing. If they industrialize and then united, as I was showing Demore, this is why they never want you to unite, why they flip them boys, why they always want to make sure you're kept divided. Because you, as this one African country, you go to #1. You become the richest country on the planet. overnight.
Mm-hmm. That
Go
is
ahead,
so
Joey.
true. Because not the country, the continent is very rich. Like I was discussing
Yeah,
some time just last week on giving literally different countries. I spoke about 19 countries specifically, and we're looking at the mineral resources they carry. And we went deeper because apart from those that are mentioned, a good example like Kenya, tea, we have gold, we have cotton, we are big producers of coffee in some places, but we don't benefit from that. So that is one of the main problems actually as we talk about that particular topic because we don't control our resources. A topic we keep on
exactly.
having every single day. We're looking at yesterday people like Felix Kedi and Ruto who are begging to for recognition that is in the United Nations as we see the other stable countries that actually are using their resources right now to benefit their people. We're talking about the Alliance Health State are withdrawing from this organization because they can see and understand that they've not
ICC.
helped them.
Exactly.
Exactly. So this is why we have, I'm going to start literally with one of the conversation we have for today. We're going to be talking about Zimbabwe, generally looking at also how agriculture can literally contribute into the economy
Of
or the GDP of Africa. That is one of the neglected things. And we know people like Bill Gates have their own agenda. He has the audacity of coming out to speak about how American, literally how Nigeria is the major key to Africa's success. And we know not just Nigeria, but many African countries are key to success to the whole continent. But they've ensured we're not going to be able to actually trade amongst each other, which is also a big problem. So we're going to talk about Zimbabwe, how they're focusing on literally they're now biggest producers of blueberry and also looking at Keith, you've been literally keeping people updated on what we've been doing as Blackout Fire, where we're shifting from what we were doing in terms of
basil,
maize and
yeah, basil, the strawberries.
yeah. So it's also educative to most of you in case again. Don't be that lady of yesterday. Do research before you come to Africa.
Oh
Understand which
man,
country you're
I
coming
can't
to.
believe Joey started that. If I was thinking about that last night, I said you must be out of your mind. I thought about that yesterday. I got the storm with you. I said, you know how dangerous it is to be stupid. You put your life in danger when you don't know. This is crazy.
It is very
That
dangerous.
was
So
scary, Joey. That was crazy.
and then on that, we shall also focus on how Africa could save $35 billion annually by just reducing food importation with local production. We discussed some time back. I was discussing on actually the local market and also the exportation, importation of our food and how we don't benefit from it. Actually, I love the page I follow explains most of the things I keep on discussing, but on repeat and on different angles, looking at how Africa can
Probably,
actually
yeah.
benefit. Yeah. And then we have,
The
of course, like
question, the question should be asked, Joey.
mhm,
This is quite a common sense question to be asked. Africa has the most fertile land, 65% of the world's fertile land. Arable means fertile, right?
mhm,
Why
mhm.
is Africa importing food, Joey?
Because they have no full control of their land. Number one, they have no full control of also majority of the food production right now. Let's say that, and this has been long effective because I think I had to learn this,
That's
especially when I
true.
landed on Passport Fire, that this has been long effective because I grew up seeing genetically modified maize being brought into our schools, porridge. The porridge was really nice though. I really liked it. The smell was really, really good. We had
Uh,
porridge, and then I could see my uncle who was not really my uncle but someone who I'm supposed to call my grandfather, an uncle to my mom. He was a big producer of oranges, so I used to see lorries coming to carry all these oranges, and by time as years went by, it stopped completely producing. And literally today, I'm not sure if they came back to being active, if the wife, the children did something about it, but he consumed all the funds without literally generating back the income to the same land that is selling to these people, and that's literally completely made him collapse. But that is one of the ways that actually Africans can benefit themselves, but sadly white South Africans or Afrikaners are telling you guys you're lazy. You don't want to farm. You don't want to take care of your land. So that's why they feel like owning majority of the land, they make a better they are better, how do I say,
Better
good
farmers.
to the country.
Better
Yeah, they are.
farmers.
It's like they add value to the country. But looking at Zimbabwe, they're talking about why Zimbabwe wants to be Africa's blueberry capital. And I bet if you look at most of the African countries in different ways, they're practicing this. It's not just one country, but there's always that one country that thrives more better in something than the other. And this is why we talk about trading is very important, because if I'm good at maize farming,
Exactly.
and Tanzanians are good at beans, and I don't have beans, they don't have maize, that is where trading comes in. How do you profit locally, as countries, and without involving the white people now importing genetically modified food, which again you have to pay heavy taxes for it, and it's still going on a loss, like you've seen Trump putting heavy tariffs
Yes,
on you guys.
because
It's
because
still going on
because
a
you're
loss.
paying. Why would you be paying for cancer? We know no GMOs cause cancer. So you're importing and paying for cancer that you haven't built a medical system for when people get cancer for the crap that you brought in. You didn't build a decent medical. So when your people 30, 40 years eating this crap now have cancer, they can't even really go get good health care because you haven't built none of that. You haven't built the infrastructure. And then the little money they got, they're going to be bled, like Joey's mother, for cancer treatment
Yeah.
that they can't even really afford. They're going to be bled dry. All the money's going to be gone. That's the scam. You understand? That's what they do. They
we,
get
we
you
did
paid for your own poison.
we're really dealing with psychopaths, because like you've
Yep.
explained, number one, we're importing food that creates diseases in the body, and that actually they have not created cure or healthcare systems to also deal with this particular problem they are creating. So it's an Hegelian dialectic, and we're dealing with psychopaths.
Exactly. Exactly what it
uh,
is.
yeah, like it's not about creating a solution, it's creating more
No.
problems on top of
Exactly.
problems. There's not supposed to be a solution at all. So looking at
No.
Zimbabwe,
Exactly. So.
yeah. So looking at Zimbabwe, they're talking about Zimbabwe being recently signed, which signed a tariff-free export protocol with one of the largest consumers of blueberries, and this is of in China. And also adding that the Southern African country, that is South African country, is one of the Southern African, no, because it's a Southern African, sorry, Southern African
Yeah.
country is one of
It's,
the largest.
it's Southern, yeah. If I was going to Southern Africa, not South Africa, because that's not really the name of a country. It's really a direction. South
So
Africa is
it's
the south part of Africa, but so is Zimbabwe. But
Mhm. So it's one of the fastest growing producers of superfood that is gaining popularity worldwide. Berry production in Zimbabwe is expected to rise by 50% to 12,000 tons this year. And this is one of the audience. And of course, bet it's white men who are majority also consumers or producers in these farms, because we know most of the African countries, again, we're fighting for our lands back that was stolen by these people. So
yep,
majority of the people working there are just, again, it's modern day slavery. Black people whose lands were taken
of
away from
course.
them, and white people are multi making billions out of it because they've
Because of this China protocol and
understood
pending
the
How about
profit of
how
Africa.
about that, Joe? How about that, Joe? How
Mhm.
about that?
quickly,
How about that?
the sort of the decks are cleared because of this China protocol and
Africa's
pending India
poor,
protocol.
but they won't leave. Africa's poor, but the white people never want to leave. Isn't that funny?
They know this is a gem they landed into. They know.
This is where the growth is, tangible growth, and can happen, very quickly, providing the sort of the decks are cleared because of this China protocol and pending India protocol. This is
Yeah, so of course we have the Chinese. It's everywhere. If it's not them, it's always the Indians, it's always the Chinese who have dominated a certain particular market. Because again, if you go into the country, bet sure there's local farmers of blueberries, but you'll find they fight so hard with these white people because they have consumed the largest market in terms of exportation, especially because that is where the money comes from, and which actually makes the local farmer even so hard, even to sell within even the country itself, because you have people who are beating you in every single way and
Well,
have bought
it's
out the
called you,
government.
it's called you exactly about your fake governments. These
Mhm,
governments don't work for you. It's about you taking power. You want to
mhm,
do what the Sahel states, you got to take power, and you got to do it unapologetically. I'd say
mhm.
until their job. You're going to take power unapologetically because your corrupt puppets, they're puppets. And so we did the thing yesterday with the guy showing you. Your politicians are puppets. They all bought and paid for puppets by people who don't represent. So you get your country stolen again. You fought wars to get your land back, but your puppets have now given it right back to the same people you fought to get it from. You're
Mm-hmm.
like, what
It's
sense does that
crazy.
even make?
So
Exactly.
the Africans, we need to really wake up. It's high time we start realizing who white people are in our lands and how effective this has been, especially on the long run. It's been a generational, I don't want to call it curse, but effect. Most of the Africans like calling it curse, especially involving
Yeah,
the
and that,
religion.
it's not.
It's
There's no curses, guys. It's you not. It's you being weak and feckless. There are no curses. It's you being weak and feckless. Stop being weak and feckless. Take back what belongs to you, and the
We have
curse
a con-
will be over. Stop talking about curses.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Zimbabwe, wishing them the best, as for especially for the local farmers. Personally, that is who I'll count on, because let me go through the comments. I love reading the comments again. One of the persons says, our blueberries are absolutely the best. I bet that is someone from Zimbabwe. Another person says, trust me, blueberries from our Zimbabwe soil taste different because the soil is organic and fertile. Of course, food from Africa, not just Zimbabwe. Africans, you need to stop bragging from different African
Exactly. But
countries.
they don't.
It,
But that's the ignorance, Job. Exactly. It's that because the sword doesn't stop because you got a fake border. The soil is the same. If I go on the border between Tanzania and Kenya, it's the same soil. Just because I
exactly.
walk across a fake line and say, "Oh, now I'm in Tanzania," the soil didn't change.
It's crazy because I talked to one of the Cameroonian ladies I was listening to sometime on YouTube, and she was talking about tribalism in Africa and also generally in Cameroon, where she says growing up or how the effects of tribalism she's seen and what Africans need to learn. And you need to understand, once you start addressing your country, it's not just your country facing this problem. Every African country has the same problem or has the same blessings, has the same effect that you guys have. So you need to
But they
stop.
got, but
"Oh,
they, she's right.
have
But they got to know that,
we have the
like you
best
said,
jollof rice. What do you mean? The rice is the same everywhere. I can cook jollof rice.
it is the same, Joe. Exactly. And why would you be arguing about the same fucking rice?
I don't understand Ghanaians and Nigerians. It's super, super. It's like
And that was so funny because jollof rice didn't originate in Nigeria or Ghana. It originated in Senegal. So who cares?
mm,
It's crazy.
no one. How does it help you? Literally,
Yeah,
culturally, yes,
right,
it's
right. Rice is rice. You like the rice,
yeah.
cool, okay. I'm not fighting over who makes the best rice. Who cares? It's not, and it wouldn't be a country. It'd be a person who cooks the best. It could be a Nigerian woman that cooks good and a Nigerian woman that cooks bad. It could be a
Mm,
Ghanaian woman that cooks it good. A Ghanaian woman cooks it bad. It could be
yep.
a Kenyan woman that makes good ugali and a Kenyan woman that makes bad ugali. It has nothing to
That's
do with the country. It's the person.
period. But yes, we also have literally on this other end talking about still agriculture, how Africa can save 35 billion annually by just reducing food imports with local production. And I want to see if I
Production.
can find the other article I was reading some time back, which was relative with this, explaining how actually this can happen and how especially local markets. How people actually mostly survive on local markets and how these other markets destroy majority of the Africans' life. But before I find it, let me read this. This
And
one talks
that's why
about.
you would need government. You wouldn't allow the Chinese and other countries to come in and start selling you. You would say, no, that's not allowed. That's what you say, no. Our people are going to do these jobs because they need jobs. You go do that in your own country because you won't be allowed. They would never allow you to go to their country and do that. That's why you got to set up protection markets so your markets can grow in your own country and you have control of those markets. You allow another people to come in and undermine your markets and flood your markets because you've not established your markets yet. And they try to
Exactly.
make sure you don't do that. That's what the Europeans and now the Chinese have learned that too from them. How to overwhelm a market that's not developed. And so they take over all your markets in your country and leave you poor. And they just extract the wealth out of your country. So you
So
should never allow that.
exactly. But people need to unite again. Tribalism, if set aside, if you unite and set an agenda you want to fight, this actually would have started in, like you've seen other countries like maybe Nigeria, Ghana, those who have been able to shut down businesses that were set up by this other race and telling you can't come here as an African. Who are you?
You
Number
mean
one, why in my
you mean
country?
not
You know,
not another race, though. You mean another ethnic group.
oh,
You're the same race. You're the same race, but as different tribes, you call yourself a different ethnic group. So exactly, being
oh,
another ethnic group.
no, another race. I'm talking about the Chinese to be
Oh
specific.
yeah. Oh, you're talking about another race. Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different thing. You hate exactly. You hate your own people because they say they're another ethnic group, but you let a whole nother race of people come and die. Hey, that's the African mind.
Because if I remember when we were the Chinese square market was being set up in Kenya, uh, Kenyans had a problem with it actually, and finding out that actually this was authorized and gazetted, deals were made without even it being televised, and then boom, we have China Square in
Of
Kenya.
course,
People be,
of
people
course.
became mad, and of course hit the street. I remember we had demonstration,
Sure.
local market people demonstrated,
And
but
I
it
mean,
didn't go
you know,
for long.
you don't have to get mad. All you gotta do is be mature and don't buy from there. The Chinese are not gonna buy from you. You go to China and open up an African square. Guess what? You're going out of business.
Yep.
They're not gonna mess with you. Period. No matter how low your deals are, they're not gonna come into your store. So you're gonna go bankrupt. That's what
That
you
is
need to learn to do.
That is so true. But yes, they're talking about Africa spends billions every year importing food that could
Yep.
actually be grown on its own soil. According to the
Yep.
recent estimates, the continent could save as much as $35 billion annually if it reduced food imports and invested more in local production. The irony is that Africa holds 65% of the world's uncultivated arable land, meaning it has the natural resources to feed itself and even become a major food
Feed the
exporter.
Africa can feed the world. That's like the most terrible. Not just as Africa can feed the world. And with funny time, when the colonial powers had Africa, they were using Africa to feed the world and themselves. 'Cause they was the ones making the money from it. They had to flip that when you supposed to get independence because they wanted to make sure they controlled you. They want to make sure they
But
control, but since you have the most arable land, as Yoga just read, this is a fact. Why are you importing food?
it doesn't
Doesn't
make
make any
sense.
sense.
So
It
many
doesn't.
people are employed that actually could become very skilled, very important, very productive on that particular sector. If
Those
because
are,
farming is nothing hard to learn. Trust me. It's just, if you taught once, you need to just that's
no,
it. It's not
those are
just
good jobs.
practical. Yeah, you just shown, hey, this is how you put the beans, you
Exactly.
put the fertilizer first, then you put the beans and you cover. Then next time you come, you water it. You told every time this is the times you're supposed to water it. If it's weekly, if it's daily, and all that. Remove the weed. Farming,
Yeah.
it's nothing hard personally. If there's one thing personally I feel sad about is because I was not allowed to practically participate in farming. I was allowed to observe because we used to have workers, the
That's
shamba boys
crazy.
who used to
Okay.
work. I think it made sense because we had like my uncle could afford the workers, like paying those guys. So I enjoyed
Yeah.
literally
But
watching, especially
but
when the
but
cows.
he still should he still should have you out there getting your hands dirty so you would learn the business yourself. Always do
Did
that.
you?
When you have young children, that's stupid. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The morality of the app. No, you put your children out there so they can learn the business themselves as well, so they can participate later on if they decide to go into it. Because farming is a money maker, Joey. Farming makes money. People got to eat, so it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna make money.
Yep. Well, it's a distant uncle, so I understand the hate of not maybe wanting to cheat someone else's
That's
child
crazy.
or become clever
Hey,
or something. But I enjoyed watching it. Personally, loved being just there. I could see how they put the fertilizer first, the seeds, then cover it. Then having it the oxens. Every time there's I don't know how it's called, but the oxens pass by with this machine. Then in between the plants. I don't know. No, when it's time to almost plant, the oxens go creating the lines like that and all that. So it was really, really nice to observe that. But sadly, today, most of us, I'd say, we're coming from generations of actually parents who even don't farm, don't even know farming, don't want to go back to
exactly. They lost
shop.
that. Lost the loss of knowledge. Exactly.
Yes. it's another problem. But also talking about the problem is it lies in under investment in agriculture, which I'm just talking about,
Agriculture.
poor infrastructure, the heavy dependence on foreign markets for basic staples like staple foods like wheat, rice, and even processed foods. It's crazy because all this we have and had in Africa. Wheat. My uncle still plants wheat. The last time I was at my uncle's place, I saw, I think I showed even you guys, I think I sent it on the WhatsApp. I
Yeah,
just showed
send
you
over that.
plenty of wheat. Like, this is something that today most of the farmers still don't do. In rice, Tanzania is one of the country I observed they are very big producers of rice, because
Nice.
also most of the
Okay.
rice we locally import most of the rice from Tanzania. That is, they say most of the Tanzanian rice is the best, literally, which is so true. Some have also eaten some are not good. It depends also as well. But all these are things that again we used to produce here. Zero money. All you need to do is just replant your seeds. But now you're being told you need to go to the
Exactly.
shop, find organic seeds. Don't plant this seed. Why are you being controlled on what you should do? We
Because
need to
be-
unite.
because that again, that's the white person trying to come and take control and pay them because they want to make sure you can the seed does not reproduce itself, Joby. See, God gives you everything for free. You can just plant a seed. When you get harvest, you replant your seeds. That's
Mhm.
free. The white man wants to control everything, so he wants to control. He wants to make sure you pay him again for you to farm. So I'm going to pay you so I can farm. I'm going to pay you that doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna pay you so I can farm. That
It's
doesn't make
crazy.
any sense.
It is
So
crazy.
yeah, so you keep coming back buying the same seeds that give you cancer. You're like,
Dependence.
well,
You're being
exactly.
dependent.
Exactly. You're being made dependent, and you're being made to make them rich
Mm-hmm.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, you're making them rich again.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. But they're saying this dependence makes African economies vulnerable to global shocks like the war in
Exactly.
which sent food prices soaring across the continent. If countries shifted focus towards supporting local farmers, building stronger facilities, improving irrigation, and reducing post harvest losses, Africa could not only feed itself, growing population, but also create millions of jobs in the process. Unlocking this agricultural potential is not just about the food security, it's about economic dependence. And of course, we shift on this other article I read some time back. I was trying to refer to now also how this is affected, even if as much as we're trying, on those who are trying as much as they can to focus on farming, locally produced, become great people in the market, there's a problem where over 85% of Africa's shopping happens in not only in local markets but also which is being fought. Understand, 85% of the African shop on local markets, but which is also being fought. So there's this pull back and forth with the people who have fully bought out the government because they own majority of our lands in Africa and control majority of our farming, and the people who are trying as little as they can to give, you know, to how do I say, to save themselves or become producers of the people on, you know, in the community. They're also being fought, if it's really making sense. So if you look at where we can save 35 billion annually by reducing food imports with local production, this is going to increase more dependency of people affording food in the local markets, because there's also people who today can't afford food in the local markets. Trust me, that is just
People
a fact.
control your food, Joby. People
Mm-hmm.
control your food, Joby. Control you. That's
Mm-hmm.
what they want. They want to say, oh, you don't do this, you don't do this, we'll starve your people.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, like you said, you're dealing with psychopaths, yo.
Yep. Very big psychopaths. And of course, psychopaths like what you have on your screen, who are the number one people pushing the same agendas, right? This is the same person telling you, hey, genetically modified foods are good. We need to start adapting to eating bugs. We need to start adapting to eating mosquitoes, and
This,
all these
this,
kinds of
cra- this crazy bastard right here. And that's why he wanted to get in Africa's biggest market, which is Nigeria. And the Nigerians already told him no. But of
things.
course, they already bought the name. They bought the fake leaders, the puppet leaders, with fake money, with the fake paper again, which I call fake billionaires. They're fake billionaires, guys. Their
Awesome.
money's based on what you call valuation. They say, "Oh, this is worth that much. This is worth that much." It's fake evaluation because it's, "Oh, Microsoft is worth this much, and we get this much paper." See, because their system is based on fake evaluation of something, saying something's worth something, right?
Mm,
Like Elon Musk. Oh, he's the richest man in the world, and everything he makes is shit. Everything he makes is failure. But it's based on what? Market evaluation. Oh, it's in the stock market. It's worth this much because the stock market says that's all fake, guys. So, and that's what's going to happen. And as everything collapses, and Nigeria's going to probably break up and be controlled. They're going to rule because it's been completely set up by the British as a failed state. So
yep.
when America does collapse, Nigeria's going to get absorbed probably by the Sahel state. And they're going to be happy too anyway to join it because the country's just set up as a failed state. It just doesn't work. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, but here we have the American businessman, the Finland.
Remember, they always like to use the fake term philanthropy. He ain't getting nobody nothing. Philanthropy. He's making billions of dollars. Remember that's what they told when the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, they call these are philanthropists. Okay.
That is Bill Gates. He has revealed that Nigeria is the major key to Africa's success. I mean, this is something you've been saying even for the longest time, Kate. And it was even documented by still them. And the time Nigeria was rising, they ensured they destabilized the country and took the economy all the way down the way they really wanted. Every time African countries try to rise, they ensure that we don't. Every time we have a leader who's gonna try make
Exactly, Joby. And
us
that
debt free or
and since he's got control of Nigeria, remember they were going in killing the people. They were going in creating that Boko Haram. They were going and kill the people who were planting their regular crops, Joby. This is how brutal. They were going in and planting the crops and making them get the GMOs because they were destroying the crops. But that's never on your news. That's never on anybody's news.
Mhm. Yeah, so Bill Gates has highlighted Nigeria as the pivotal country for the future of sub-Saharan Africa. He pointed Nigeria's large population, growing economy, and youthful demographic as factors that could shape the region's development. This is the
Now
same.
we know he's lying because Debbie just showed you their economy has shrunken by $200 billion. How's it grown and it's gone backwards? I don't know how you grow and you go backwards, Joe. How's that work?
Does it? The same person praising the youth is the same person who wants to get rid of the youth. Understand? With the agenda.
Exactly. With the BACCINEs, exactly.
Yep, the population is too big.
A lot of your
Yeah,
money
let
right
me
towards
say that
Africa.
exactly. Let me say that. Yeah, the population is just too big. They have too many babies. Why do they always focus on African babies, guys? Why is it always African babies? Go ahead.
Health and development. How are you partnering with governments to get it done and also to make sure what the priorities are?
Well, the top priority for any government is stability and health and education.
The same person talking about stability is the biggest contributor of instability. Shout out to Ruto and Felix Kedi begging for recognition on the United Nations. The same person talking about human rights doesn't respect human rights and healthcare. So what?
Exactly.
And
It's crazy. Like
Rwanda's done a lot of very good things.
They say one thing and do another.
Sub-Saharan Africa's not that high, but a lot of the best practices now are coming out of Rwanda, which surprises people. In East Africa, if Kenya can take care of their debt structure, which is pretty tough for them.
Caused by who? Wow.
Exactly. This is crazy. This is all crazy talk. Exactly. It's all crazy people talk. And sadly enough, these puppets have been put installed. They're morons. This is all crazy talk. He's saying this is all crazy talk.
Ethiopia's doing a lot of good things. The most critical country for the future of sub-Saharan Africa is Nigeria.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of things great about Nigeria, and there's a
Them
lot of
folks,
things that
them folks, and look at that's the World Economic Forum, the evil people on the planet, the cats with the hats, right? And you don't look at Nigeria because Nigeria is the biggest population, guys, in Africa, right? It's almost 300 million strong and projected to be a billion. That's why it's Nigeria. We got to get Nigeria because they got that population. They got that population. So what this moron is saying, if we get Nigeria, we can get the rest of these bastards. Because they have been doing some wicked shit in Nigeria. You ever just look at this, how moron, Tinubu's even worse than damn a 7. This is an absolute moron. It's like, how's this dude, like, what? This is just insane. But go ahead.
How is he a president? You want to ask how is he a president? That's the question. How is he a president?
It's insane. It's insane. Exactly. It's insane. It don't make no sense. It's insane. You can't imagine this dude's a president of what?
Of Nigeria.
are very tough, including politics.
Bill, you said you're directing a lot of your money right towards Africa for health and development. How are you partnering with governments to get it done, and also to make sure what the priorities are?
Well, the top priority for any government is stability in health and education. And
yeah, so of course that is what he had to say, and also they're talking about. Gates also mentioned Aliko Dangote, Africa's richest businessman, as an example of the country's influential leader driving economic growth. Indeed, what has he done for Nigerians with this money, with these billions of money? That is Dangote. Understand, the same man we did a documentary is actually doesn't pay his people well in different countries where.
Of course not. I told you. He's been a great bootlegger. Of course, being a billionaire, Joe, but you're not going to be a billionaire unless you treat people like shit. That's the dirty little secret. Okay? Like I try to teach Cameras. And Cameras like, I don't care. I just be the money. That's why I don't like opportunists and big-head Negroes. You are dangerously stupid, and you don't care about people. That's why you should not be in control of anything. So the thing with Dan Cote, this is another moron who is daddy. Somebody he didn't know his money. He had another fake black truck. At least he was successful. At least Dan Cote has been successful with the money his daddy stole from Nigeria when they was a colony, right? He tried like he's some kind of self-made millionaire, it was a lie. His daddy left him a bunch of money, right? Dan Cote's father left him hundreds of millions of dollars from him stealing underneath the colonial government. That put Dan Cote in the power, but he wouldn't have you believe I started from nothing. That's why he's a goddamn no good dirty liar.
Yes, I see the comments. One of the person says, his acknowledgement means nothing. Africa will rise because of itself. We don't need them at all. They need us. That's the end.
Exactly. I mean, Africans probably know that. They need you. You don't need nothing they got. His fake paper is nothing. They need you.
And then we have another version of a bootlicker now. That would make him proud, as he has fought diseases, fixed nutrition with his foundation,
wow,
and investments.
Hold on. Now, hold on. We don't know if that's even a bootleg, guys. Remember, they got AI making these bots, these favorite comments. That might even be a person. Most likely, that's not even a person. Especially doing all that flowery speech. That's mostly an AI bot there. You go back, that's like a bot. It's not a real person. And all the great things, that's a bot. That's a bot. Putting out all that bullshit. Those are bots. So understand, guys, you need a lot of comments that go over the top. And then like Joby said, they're not critically thinking and giving a real analysis. Those are bots. Who controls your all your social media? Oh, it's not real. They got people in there as bots typing all kind of shit to push that agenda. So that's a bot. That's not a real person writing that shit there. That's a bot.
All right. So Bill Gates, shout out to you and good luck with you pushing your agendas. Africans know who you are. Kenyans already know who you are. Kenyans actually don't want you here. Indians have already kicked you out. So Nigerians, shout out to you. I don't know if you're gonna be saved or who's gonna save you.
The Indians, they kicked him out, Joby, but he paid out the corrupt. They brought him back.
Wow.
He paid the puppets off. Yeah, they brought him back
Yes.
after he unalived all these Indian people.
As they always do, just like what you have again on your screen. Oh, you know, we don't recognize Palestine, we don't recognize Congo,
Yeah,
we don't.
this evil bastard.
And
So
there's
this what Joby was talking about right here. I don't mean to cut her off. Excuse me. I was having a conversation live on TikTok, and Joby started right. And had this moronic say, I'm not trying to pick on Joe was talking about the Nigerians. I'm not trying to pick on Nigerians. I'm just being factual, okay? I'm not trying to pick on Nigerians. I was having a conversation, this chatting with this dumb Nigerian from Britain, like Jim He's a British Nigerian. Nigeria. So, so he started talking all kind of nonsense. Like what about black on black crime and Charlie Kirk and all this other nonsense that they're talking about? And I had to inform the young moronic Nigerian, British Nigerian. I said, what do you call the Ukrainian war with Russia? Those are white people, right? Would you say that correctly? He said, yeah. I said, they killed each other, right? Yeah, but that's a war. They classify as a war. That's what they do. They're still killing each other. Okay, understand when they write numbers, the numbers are always phony anyway. But that's a war. That's why. So let's just do like this. One people are right and one people are wrong. Correct in this war you're talking about, right? He said, yeah. That's okay then. Stupid. Somebody's create is then murdering somebody because somebody's wrong. And then down in Israel, like I told you, they murder people every day. They want to call it something else. Because certain people control the internet. You can't call it the G word. You can't do that. You can't call it what it is. So that's murder, moron. I said, so that's murder, moron. That's what it is. Whether you like that or not, that's what it's called. So he's like, I said, yeah. I said, but you don't care that your people, they came in Nigeria and killed all these people, right? That don't bother you. They murdered all these people in Nigeria, right? When they came in, right? He said, well, it wasn't called that. I know it wasn't called Nigeria then, stupid. I know that. We know that. We're not saying, I'm saying that area, okay? That area of Africa. You didn't mind they came in, raped, killed, murdered, pillaged. That don't bother you, right? I said, listen, stupid. You're colonized in the head. You're really messed up. I I had to start yelling at. I said, "You're really messed up. You want Africans stay
I got
impoverished." But go ahead, Joe. You got it. You got it.
I got in quit calling people morons. I'm like, are you calling me a moron again? Like, I
Nah,
don't even
I
say
forgot. I forgot I was on StreamYard with Joey about to set up the show, so I forgot. I forgot I was on there with Joey. I was calling the guy a moron because I was on both. I was on my phone, so I had both windows open at the same time. Joey said, "Who you calling a moron?" I said, "Oh man, I forgot I was on StreamYard too. I forgot about that." But but like I said, this cognitive dissonance that Africans have for the people that cause them brutality is really. I just starting to have no patience for you. And I'm just disposed of you, man. I just dispose. I don't have no. I'm gonna have no patience for you no more. So I try to be kind, but yes, but I'm going to dispose of you. You're silly, and these people don't got no time for the silly no more. You don't got time. You're dangerous. You're dangerous. We don't got time to just be playing with the dangerous. You you're just dangerous as hell. We don't got time to be always, being nice to dangerous people.
yeah.
You know.
Uh, as
Go
we
ahead, but go
continue,
ahead, Jimmy.
Trump was being called out, of course, by many Africans about lying, ending the war in Congo, and of course, the
Yeah.
peace was never
I've ended the war in the Congo. Go ahead, Jimmy.
signed a fake peace deal with the DRC Congo. And of course, I shared a little bit of the documentary yesterday, which was explaining also majority of how DRC currently is suffering with the exploitation, which of course they keep on documenting and yet there's nothing done. This is something also, again, I keep on saying, if Africans, we had dignity, within ourselves. And I talk with dignity within ourselves. You should not allow anyone come film your problems. And this is over and over and over again for years. Since you was a child, you've been seeing cameras coming to your village, filming you, talking about the problems you have. What solution have they brought to you? It's a high time, actually, Africans, you need to start beating these people with cameras. And I'm talking about the white people who benefit monetarily from these documents, because they benefit heavy from just showing the rest of the world the problems you're facing. Oh, you're there smiling, thinking it's funny. Dignity. And I go back to, if you have dignity within yourself, you're not going to come keep on mocking me, because that feels like a mock to me. I can't imagine someone coming to me. That's why I keep on saying, personally, growing up and admiring being a journalist is because the ability, personally, I can't go to the ground, but the ability of being able to do research and still bring you updates of something I talked about. That is what journalism, I believe, should be about. Update people on what happened on something you actually talked about. So if you go on the ground, you're bringing up a story about, because the most of it, which I've seen, the issue of it is the gender-based violence. The mainstream media covers gender-based violence. A woman has died. This has happened. What has the government done about it? Yet this is a mainstream media being funded by the government. Is the government doing anything about ending gender-based violence by ensuring these people end up behind bars? Or is this the same stories being recurred because actually the system sees there's no repercussions of me beating up my wife, and I'm gonna just pay a fine, or whatever, and the police are gonna let me go? I have a problem with that. And also this applies to us, to the people, the majority. You allow this. People come and mock you. You think they're here to bring you. What solution have you brought for the last 10, 20 years? I was a child. I'm now a woman. You're telling me of what are the problems you've been facing, and here for how long?
Exactly.
Tell us more. What? Excuse, get the fuck out of my face with that camera. You're supposed to be bitter. You're supposed to be very mad. Someone coming to ask you the same problems over and over and over again. You need to wake up. This is why Trump can do what he does. The fake signing. And then you're going to have white people coming. Oh, we saw Trump, signed a peace deal. What do you think as a Congolese?
Exactly what they said.
Yesterday,
Exactly.
I didn't in my house yesterday because of the M23 rebel chasing us out. What are you talking about? It's crazy, man.
No one, I hate to say it, Joe, but no one talks like you like that. No one's that direct. No one really knows that much like you know. No one's saying like that. They're always calm and loving, they're getting blown up. Well, nothing's really changed. Can we just hope Jesus will make it do a better thing for us? Like you said, it'd be 20 years, you'd be saying the same shit.
It's critical thinking, man. Critical. I was today thinking about looking at the Demore situation and then telling myself, man, what if I just listened and did that punishment? Maybe I would have graduated from my college. And then I tell myself, it's because I had critical thinking to question morons again. Because you're not gonna, just because you think you're an adult, you tell me I don't stay in the school premises, you carry a mattress to the people who are taking it.
That's crazy.
And you tell me it's optional. You tell me it's optional. So the moment I choose the option of sitting down and being comfortable, that's a problem to you. You call the guardians, oh, she's disrespectful, she's this. And then I'm trying to be reasonable to the guardian. Oh, you better do this. I won't pay school fees. Don't pay it then. I'm not sucking your balls for you to do shit. That's the don't keep on being suckers shit.
That's exactly it. That's it.
Dignity again. That is where I go back to, because you know yourself and you know literally what is wrong and right. You won't have time to actually have a back and forth with people who can critically think. Okay, you let a moron be a moron, and you move.
It's about dignity, exactly right, Joe.
Yeah.
About dignity.
But Africans, this is the same situation you've been facing over and over again. Peace fake deals. Again, cameras on your face. Again, M23 rebel bombing and killing. Again, what is the same cycle? The Hegelian dialectic again. You gotta wake up. So they're talking about President Donald Trump helped bring together the foreign ministers of Rwanda and Democratic Republic of Congo at the White House to sign a peace agreement that aims to end a 30-year conflict between the two nations. Who's funding this? He's not talking about that. Trump, please go to hell. Okay? You go fix your shithole country. We have people, have you seen people in California, in New York streets who are sleeping there? Have you seen the not the Ozempic,
and,
the
and,
zombie
and,
mode?
and he doesn't give a shit about them.
Have you seen the zombie mode going on in your country, talking about other countries being shitholes? Go fix your own nation. Go fix your own nation. Go try make people understand that you're all morons. The same way you think about African leaders. Super crazy. And then going back to Africa itself, literally our main topic of the day as we get closer to winding up, talking about how if Africa industrialized like Asia, its GDP could multiply because all the problems we're talking about fake peace deals. We know fake peace deals is because of the war going on so that Africa can never industrialize itself. Number one, the main reason we have these wars as well is for Africa to never stabilize itself, because if we do, the rest of the world collapses. The main reason the wars keep on going on is for Africa to keep on moving from one place to another, looking like beggars to the rest of the world, while we are actually
Exactly.
we're millionaires. We're billion. No,
Yep.
I don't want to say billionaires, but yeah, we are billionaires. Talk about the
You're
gold.
billionaires,
Yeah,
you're trillionaires, not billionaires.
yeah.
You're
Like I
trillionaires.
like I said, we used to wear gold. This was nothing. This was nothing. This was never. It was not a flex having a bling bling. It was a norm thing. Okay, you could go to whatever kingdom, you find women, men with jewelries. It was a lifestyle. But today Africans have to dig their way to the caves, to whatever, to live a $2 lifestyle. Do you know how crazy this is? Our history is really, really crazy. If you teach generations what we really are, and then you try, just most of the people are gonna be like, wow, oh my god. You wanna say, like, if you give the true history of the richest man in the world, leave alone Bill Gates, leave alone Elon Musk, and the rest of those
Remember,
people,
their money's fake.
one
Their
person.
money's paper. Mansa
Exactly.
Musa was real, Joe, because
Yep.
his stuff was actually minerals. It was real.
Yep.
Their wealth is fake.
So if taught the real education, you tell people we used to shower in gold, we lived in gold, we lived goldenly, right? I'm talking about
Yep.
from food, from everything, to wives, to husbands, to children. We lived goldenly.
Yes, you did.
And now to the point now we're dying in caves to put a $2 lifestyle and end up still not bringing that $2 back home, going to drink some moonshine so I cannot think about tomorrow. It's crazy. It's super insane. Our history is completely, it's amazing but very crazy. I keep on saying that. Our history is, it's beautiful. It's super beautiful but crazy
That's
at
what.
the same time.
That's why you're not taught it. It is beautiful.
But yeah, we're talking about Africa industrialized. If I